What is going on, everyone? Welcome inside the Deuce Vodka pregame show. We got our Deuce Vodka here. If you weren't here 2 episodes ago, or was it 1 episode ago that you did your
last episode?
No, 2 episodes ago.
Yeah.
2 episodes ago. No, it was
last episode.
Last episode, Jay did his Neon Nation bomb in honor of the Oilers clinching.
So I'm getting a little ridiculed for the hand shot.
Yes, I saw that on Twitter.
People think I didn't actually put any neon into the glass.
You could see it go into the cup.
I tried to. I got people. Surveyor Brett broke it out.
Yeah, I saw that. He screenshotted it.
Oh, this is damning evidence. But I was like, look at the liquid level in the bottle. It went down.
That definitely went down. But anyways, we got a big game. Well, not really. We got a game.
At least, there's some implications.
Yes, and you actually just let me know about this before we came live. I had no idea. Apparently, the Oilers can clinch home ice tonight, which essentially means locking up the second place in the North Division. Who knows what's going to happen with the Jets and the Habs? Like, I guess right now,
Jay, Habs lost last night. Jets won, so that's...
Jets clinched last night.
Yeah. By
beating the Flames. Right now, are we saying go Jets a little bit? A little bit go Jets?
I think so. Like, yeah. If we want to take stock in how we've performed against each team in the regular season, I think we definitely, as our first round opponent, would like to see the Jets.
Let us know. As always, we want you to be a part of the show. So let us know, Jets, Habs, who do you want to play? Let's get into our good, bad, and oily from last game. Jay, would you like to start with your bad, good, oily? What do you want to start with?
It was good to see Bouchard back in the lineup. Yeah. You know, didn't look like he had much rust. He was buzzing, played a ton of minutes. And just patiently got a goal there.
Yes, nice goal, Bouchard.
Nice goal.
Isn't that funny? He draws in after like 2 months of not playing and then scores.
How many shots on net did he have?
Oh, I have no idea.
He was just firing the pill at will. Yeah. It was great.
So that's your good.
That's my good.
That's your good.
It was good to see you again. Missed you, Dad.
Yeah, my good will be the second line. The second line had a really good game.
Very good game.
It's weird because you look at the 2 players that are on each side of Nuge in Cahoon and Yamamoto, a little bit of undersized guys. You know, I would consider them skilled players, but they just get in, man, and they cycle. They just cycle the puck like crazy. So yeah, I'll say the good is the second line for me.
Okay.
Bad.
Very disappointed. Connor only got 2 points.
Yep.
I was expecting more from him.
Yeah.
And you know, I want that McSentry sooner rather than later. Yep. So was kind of upset.
For my bad, I'm actually going to transition my bad into my oily. So it's a 2-parter here.
Okay.
My bad is going to be the fact that Tyler Ennis didn't score on the lacrosse goal.
Oh, but that was my oily.
Oh, really? That was my oily is the fact that he went for it. And it was just sick.
Yeah.
Because people were like, oh my gosh, Tyler Ennis just tried to go for the lacrosse goal.
Oh, that would have been so good.
That's so much swag, man. You haven't played in forever. And then they throw you in the lineup and you're like, yeah, I'm going to try and do a lacrosse goal. Like, that's sick.
Yeah, so sick. Okay.
Are you going to piggyback on my oily for Tyler Ennis?
No, I'll try to come on my own because that was the oiliest play of the night. For my oily from last game, let's see.
Oily, you should say.
Don't tell me. Don't.
Oh, sorry.
Don't.
Just trying to help.
I guess
trying to get the wheels turning.
This has got to be. Well, I was like, oh, I'm going to say this. Oh no, I'm going to say this. Oh no, I'm going to say this.
I know what you should say for
Yes, Josh, this shirt is oily. Check it out, nationgear.ca.
I just thought of it because Brad said sweet shirt, Jay.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
yeah, he gave me a shout out.
Did you see the photo,
Yeah,
the family photo of the Stepankos?
I really liked it.
Yeah, it was good. Bearded Brown, thank you.
Yep.
My oily, you know what, is going to be, it's not even oily. This is just like good. Just Nuge, man. Nuge is, well, no, he's now back to being oily.
He's once again oiled.
He's a lubricated man again, and it's good to see. Welcome back to the oil team.
Steve Simmons says, Ennis looking like Rob Schremp out there. Yeah, listen, Rob Schremp is elite, and I would have liked to see him have more of a role with the Oilers.
Elite hands, yeah.
Elite hands.
It just wasn't, the toolkit wasn't there. The tools were there.
Yeah,
I think, and when I say toolkit, I think the attitude at that time, and he even says, like, we had him on ON radio, and I think he kind of alluded to when he was younger that kind of the attitude wasn't good.
How old was he when he was here, Rob Schremp?
Well, he would have,
I think I would have
19, 20, 21.
Was he that young?
Yeah, because we drafted him.
Oh, did we? I think I was like 12 at the time or 13 at the time, so I don't really remember. James Lee says, how oily was that Boosh goal? And yeah, you touched on it. Like, just the patience.
Patience, that's the thing. Yeah. The guy has like veteran patience already, and that's such an interesting dynamic that he brings to the game. And he's got a rocket for a shot, but the fact that he just kind of like waited for a little lane, and then boom.
Yeah. Done. Okay, we actually got a few questions rolling in here, so we're going to get to them before we get into what is this bottom six. First question coming in was, or I guess Chris Brown with a comment, Bouchard not shooting the puck on his goal and waiting to pick his shot was so nice to see. Something that, listen, of course you can teach that, but that's something that Bouchard has had. He's always had that, even
Patience.
Back to juniors.
He's so calm. Like, even, like, when you just see Bouchard talk, it's like he's got not a care in the world.
Well, but he's been a pro for how long now? He's been a pro for 5 years,
like,
playing in the
just
London
like
Knights
disinterested.
organization.
Like it's so like you can't, like, high pressure situations don't get to him.
It's the London Knights, man. They just breed pros.
They do.
Yeah, and money. Anyways,
pay the players.
Yeah, pay the players. London Knights pay the players, confirmed. Gary Blaney says Shrimp banana hammock wasn't as fast as Ennis though. Yeah, Ennis has got wheels. Ennis can zip around.
He can buzz around. Like you can just he's got a motor.
Tyler Cohen says, Bouchard proving he deserves that roster spot. James says, he's amazing. Watched him in London. Yeah, Bouchard's sick. See, I have a little bit of an internal dilemma with this whole Bouchard situation, and you know why. Because if Bouchard continues to do stuff like this...
Bye-bye, Tyson.
My boy Barry's going to leave. And I'm not going to get my white Barry jersey. So...
Well, now you have to get a Bouchard jersey. Out of respect to Barry.
No, it's all good. We're going to trade Ethan Bear. Cy Greening says, Jay, what were your emotions in the dying seconds of the first where Yamo is digging at net for a goal for an equalizer, but at the same time, you were about to win some coin on a negative bet against the Oilers? I actually hadn't read that whole question until just now. So, Jay, can you fill us in?
Yeah, it was stressful.
Yeah.
Like, that's funny. They shouldn't even have won that first period, but they did, and that was good. So I paid nice odds. So that was good. Yeah, that was stressful. Like, we were the better team in that, outside of, like, the first 30 seconds of that game.
Yeah. Steve Simmons says Yakupov and Derek Roy were an oily line for sure, and I would like to see that on the Oilers' third line. But speaking of the third line,
Derek Roy was the Yakupov whisperer.
Yes, Yakupov, free Yak, bring him back. Lines, McDavid, Draisaitl, Puligarvi, RNH, Yamamoto, Cahoon. The third and fourth lines, Jay, is kind of where it gets interesting. We heard Dave Tippett allude to it this morning that, like, I might be totally off here, but I'm pretty sure he said that tonight is, like, the last, like, tinker night. Like, tonight's the last night that they're going to, like...
Because we have how many games left? 5?
After this, it'll be
4 after this, so this is 5 right now?
Okay. And he said that he wants to play all his stars for the rest of the games, and their minutes aren't dropping. Like, he said, we're playing to the end of the season. What do you think?
Well, as long as it's not like they're playing all their minutes, but that's like Connor's not playing 28 minutes. Like that's the reality. We can't have that.
But he's going to be playing 22, 23, I imagine.
Which probably Connor wants. I've been kind of humming and hawing on that, but just based on how our schedule is set up and the fact that we got a bunch of time between our last game, and then we'll be a bunch of time between our last game and when the playoffs will start.
Yeah.
It makes sense to keep the guys going.
Yeah.
So I'm with you, but like if we're down in the game, we're not gonna like stack up and double shift McDavid.
Yeah, if it's like
unless he needs the points.
If it's 4-1 in a physical game, McDavid's not touching the ice in the last 6 minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, well, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
he could. We don't know. Okay, let's talk about the third and fourth line. McLeod is once again going to center Chason and Neal. So my guy Chason draws back in, and your guy Neal draws back in. So
Neal, yeah, I think we got to. I think Neal is getting his playoff legs underneath him.
Yes.
I think we got to keep. He's got to play a lot between now and the end of the season.
Kara, Archibald, and the rock star Patrick Russell making his return to the Oilers lineup. P. Russ. Imagine if he scores his first NHL goal tonight. People are going to lose their minds.
I hope he does.
I really want Patrick Russell to score a goal.
I really do. And he really does too.
It's hard to score a goal in the National League.
It is super hard.
But Alex Chason has 100 of them.
100.
A hundo. Jones and Bear back in. So Legason and Bouchard out. I wonder when it gets to playoff time, Jay. Like, let's say a guy like Ethan Bear has a really tough game. Like, I'm talking like a tough game. Could you see Tippett taking him out and putting Bouchard in?
It would have to be a couple tough games. I think, Tip likes to give he's a player's coach. He likes to give his players a second chance at redemption. So probably have to be like, if he's having a rough series,
yeah,
I could see a decision to be made to put someone else in.
Yeah. Steve Simmons says P. Russ laughing face. Gary Blaney says the Danish dangler.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's our boy, the
Danish Gretzky.
Dane.
It'd probably be like Lars Eller. I'm trying to think who'd be the best Dane to grace the NHL. Could be a Lars Eller.
Is he Danish?
He is Danish.
I couldn't have named any other Danes in the NHL. Not a big country guy. Don't know countries. Except for Klefbom and Larson are Swedish. So I know that. Okay. Let's see what Chris Run has to say. He says, I would stick with the dry McDavid Nuge on a line limit minutes. Puljujarvi and McLeod as the second line with rotating wingers to see if they can make PP2. So Chris Run wants to simply stack up one line, Draisaitl, McDavid, and Nuge for the rest of the season, and just see if they can each get 30 points.
No, I don't think that's a good idea because it's about this is why Tip wants to this is the final tinkering because we need to have the lines buzzing that they're going to be playing with each other going into the playoffs.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that would be my opinion.
Someone just said, took Ethan Bear all season to get 1 goal, took Bouchard 1 game. Does Bouchard have 2 goals?
He has 2 goals. Bouchard has 2 goals.
I'm just pulling.
Bear has 2 goals.
Bear now has 2 goals. Bouchard's played 13 games this season? I thought he had only played 5.
Yeah, he had a little run there.
I guess he had a little run. Also, Nikolai Ehlers is Danish, apparently. So he would be the best Dane.
So he's So if any of our German audience is watching, I believe they also lay claim to Ehlers.
Really?
Yeah, there's some kind of border thing. Just like Dominic Cahoon. He's Czech, but German.
Oliver Bjorkstrand. Freddie Anderson actually is Danish.
Yeah, he's Danish. That's right.
Yep. Freddie Anderson's actually playing in the American League tonight. So
conditioning stint.
Conditioning stint. So he's playing in the American League. Okay, next headline is Dad/Ennis. We've talked about both of them already, Jay. Let's talk about Tyler Ennis. They pulled him out of the lineup after last night's game, or two nights ago's game. We both talked about it. We liked Tyler Ennis' game. There was a few instances when you see him, when he's a little bit flashy, likes to carry the puck, and he just shows moments where you're like, man, him and McLeod, you feel like almost could get some chemistry there. So why do you think they pulled him out?
My first encounter with Tyler Ennis was at the Perry Perns camp, which is a summer pro camp before players start going back to the cities that they play in. And a lot of good pros play in it. And I saw Tyler Ennis there. And my God, he was the best player on the ice. He was buzzing and dangling and this and that. And I'm like, who is this guy? And they were like, that's Tyler Ennis. I'm like, oh, amazing.
Wait, when is this? How old are they at this time?
Oh, he was playing at Buffalo at the time.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about this was a young guy's tournament.
No. So this is a pro camp that all the pros that live around here in the summer will go to, and even some people will come from outside of Edmonton to come and do it because it's a legit kind of preseason camp. And that's the exact same guy I saw playing against Vancouver on was that Monday? Tuesday? What day is it?
What day is it today?
Oh, they played back-to-back on Tuesday night. I'm like, that's the exact same guy. So he's in pure prime buzz mode.
Yeah, I just looked it up because this always kind of interests me. I feel like he would be one of those guys, like kind of like Tyler Benson, and kind of like what's his name, Chris Russell, when they're just super good junior players and like unbelievable in like bantam.
Yeah.
So I just got a vibe that like Tyler Ennis was going to be one of those guys. I wanted to see if he played in the Brick tournament, but I couldn't find it.
Rec tournament, that is something people should check out.
I go to it every year.
It is amazing how good these kids are. And a lot of them make the show. A lot of them. A lot of crazy names have gone through that tournament.
Literally. Like,
shout out Edmonton.
Jordan Everett played in the Brick. Matt Barzell played. Like, almost, I would say that
PK
half the
Subban,
NHLers have played in the Brick.
A lot of, Steve Stamkos.
Yeah. Yeah, the Brick is sick. I don't think Tyler Ennis played in it. But KC Squires, alum. He got 43 points in his first year in 36 games. So, yeah, he's nasty. Okay, let's get to our Deuce Vodka player mode.
Okay.
Would you like to begin?
Yes, I would.
Okay.
For my delicious neon Deuce Vodka player mode, I would like Ryan McLeod to enter first NHL goal mode.
Nice.
I think the time has come. You know, he just keeps impressing me. He's getting a little bit more confident because, you know, especially when you make the leap, like you feel the pressure to pass the puck because you're like, holy shit, I'm on a team with Connor McDavid. Oh my shit, I'm on a team with Nuge. Like, you feel like compelled to do it. He's starting to break free from that and create scoring opportunities and get himself into scoring positions.
Yep.
So, like, it's there. The ingredients are there. So I would like Ryan McLeod to enter first NHL goal mode. I'm cheering for you. Can't bet on you. Can't bet on you anywhere.
No.
But I'm cheering for you.
I like it. I'm going to piggyback off of it slightly. I would like Alex Chason to enter scored by Chason, assisted by Ryan McLeod mode.
Okay.
And I want them to combine for a goal because I've seen a lot of Chason slander today on Twitter and a lot of so much.
He's really stepped up. He's been compared to last season, he's been more effective. I think he's been put in a better role.
Like, I don't know how many tweets I've seen today from people saying, "Oh, Ryan McLeod had better wingers in the American League," and "Oh, Ryan McLeod had better line mates in Junior B." Like, people were literally saying, like, just slandering Chason and Neil. Yeah, I get it. Neil doesn't have great boots. Not great boots right now.
You're gonna like him in the playoffs.
Yes. We should not discount Alex Chason. He's having a good season. So
yeah, like he had a rough start there because he was on the power play and he was given all those great chances to score and he was muffing them and not making it. And that was pissing us off. But he has since redeemed himself because for me, we put him in that position on the power play, so high expectations. But for me, where I've really liked him is the effort that he brings in, night out on whatever line, normally the fourth line.
Yeah.
But he is going around. He's not the best skater, but he is skating his ass off and he is banging and crashing. And as he proved, even last night, the guy can shoot the puck if he's put in the right situation.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm not saying he's the answer or anything, but like, you know, come playoff time, an experienced vet like that, and a guy who can shoot the puck like him and who's willing to be physical, like, that's the type of guy we need.
Gary Blaney says, does James Neal's lack of boots keep him from starting the playoffs? Do you think he'll start in the bottom six come playoff time?
Yeah, I think he will.
Okay.
I think there's too much experience there. He's a pro. I think he'll be good to be, and if he wasn't playing, he'd be around the room. But just being, you know, part of the process of playing in that game, I think will be important.
Yeah.
But honestly, I think, like, remember in that play-in tournament, that line with him, Kara, and Archibald was like our best line.
Yep.
So, like,
literally,
I'm not saying like James Neal's going to get us 10 goals in the playoffs, but like I think that line's going to play heavy, be effective, and like keep the puck in their end, run a good cycle, and just kind of allow time for our star players to rest without causing too much damage on the scoreboard against us. And wear down the other team, which is so important.
Tyler says, Neal has the veteran playoff mindset that will help carry this team in the playoffs. Need him. Which you would agree with. Steve says, you ever think the Oilers considered recalling that entire Baco line and letting them play together? I think that they pretty much made it very clear to the guys in Baco, and I heard Jay Woodcroft say this on the radio the other day. They made it pretty clear to all the guys in Baco that, like, the chances of getting called up this year are slim, just because of the pandemic situation and because of the quarantine. So they pretty much told them that, like, listen, you're likely not going to get called up, and if it is, it's probably going to be one guy late in the season. Ryan McLeod, which is exactly the situation. Yeah. So I really don't think they ever considered it for Marody, and I don't think they considered it for Benson either. Obviously, they might have. We don't know. We're not in the organization. But I feel like they kind of had their sights set on Ryan McLeod, and he was kind of their guy from the beginning if they were going to call someone up, Jay.
I would agree.
Okay, let's get into the next headline, second line wonders. Send in some more questions. We're going to talk a little bit about the second line, and then I also want to talk a little bit about Connor McDavid. Jay, do you see Yamamoto, Nugent-Hopkins, Cahoon starting game one of the playoffs together?
Oh, that is such a good question. Wow, that's such a good question. I really, I really, no, it's because I really, like, how do you break up McDavid and Draisaitl? But like, I think you want a two-headed monster. I think you really do. But like, they've been keeping that line together. Like to have the dry line, like Cahoon with McDavid isn't that bad.
No.
Cahoon and McDavid.
No. Oh, it's almost like Kahuna Matata. Kahuna McDavid. Yeah.
It is.
Nice.
Yeah, I think I'd like to see the dry line in playoffs.
Okay. Yeah. I think one thing. I think if we play the Jets, Dave Tippett will be more willing to break up McDavid and Draisaitl. I think if we play the Habs, I think they'll put McDavid and Draisaitl together. Because that's one thing that we saw this year is that when they split up McDavid and Draisaitl against the Habs, I don't know what it was, but they just couldn't get anything going. I think that they'll play them together. If we play the Habs, which I don't think we will, I think we're going to play the Jets. But if we play the Habs, for sure McDavid and Draisaitl will play together. If we play the Jets, I think they'd be more willing to break them up. But that is exactly it, Jay, is that if you do want to keep that second line together, that means that McDavid and Draisaitl will play together. So,
yeah. Good question.
Good.
These are good problems. I can't believe
they're great problems to have. Sean says, if we play Winnipeg, I think they keep Dry McDavid together until it works. They could. The only reason I say I think they split them up against Winnipeg is because we've seen McDavid's willingness and his ability to just dominate that game in all facets against Winnipeg just because their back end is so undersized and so bad. Like Winnipeg's defense are not good. Whereas although up the middle, like Montreal might not be as strong, lines 1 through 3, but their back end is way bigger and way stronger. Yeah. Which also means you probably wouldn't want to have Cahoon and Yamamoto on the same line, Jay. Would you agree?
I would agree.
It's kind of that's a dilemma in itself.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk a little bit about Connor McDavid, Jay? Just a little bit?
I always got time for Connor.
So I don't know if you would have seen it, viewers. I posted a little thread on Twitter this morning talking about some of the accolades, or not necessarily accolades, but some of the potential statistics that could align with Connor McDavid coming down the stretch of the season here. That's always good when you open up Twitter and you have 20 notifications. It's a good feeling. Jay, you saw my list. Which one of those statistics stood out to you the most out of the 10 things that I posted? Do you want me to run through them, or do you?
What is the one? The one that if you take his points from March 1st to now, just his assists, he would be top 20 in scoring?
So if you took McDavid's assists alone, just his assists, he would be the scoring leader on 27 different teams in the NHL. And then if you also took his assists alone, he potentially could finish third in NHL scoring. Because right now, McDavid he has 62 assists, and that would currently put him, I believe, 5th in NHL scoring, but only 2 behind the guy that's third, I think. So he could potentially finish third in scoring.
Why he'd be third to himself, right?
Third to himself.
So he'd actually be second.
So he'd actually be second. It would go McDavid, everything, Draisaitl, everything, McDavid assists. So it's pretty...
Not bad. Not a bad year.
The one that stuck out to me a lot when I was going through this is that McDavid has more 2-point or more games this season than he has 1-point or 0-point games this season. He has 29 games where he recorded at least 2 points. That is absurd. Like, the numbers he's putting up this year are literally to the point where his point per game, clip that he's at right now would be the most points per game since Pat LaFontaine in 1992.
Crazy. Yeah. Like in the new NHL, putting up that kind of points.
Yeah.
Like imagine, like it's tough because players weren't as conditioned, the game wasn't as foul, that stuff. So it's got to be all relative. But imagine you could just put Connor McDavid into a time machine and play in 80s, 90s NHL, he would have 250 points.
He would have 10 points a game. He would literally have 10 points a game. Yeah. It would be not to brag too much on the guys in the 80s, but it was just obviously like you said. It's all relative.
It's all relative because if Wayne Gretzky grew up in this era,
he would be the best player in the game.
He wouldn't be getting 200 points a season. He'd be getting 140.
Yeah, he'd be on McDavid level.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, let's get to a few comments here, and then we'll talk about the betting, Jay. Hot take from Kyle Ritchie. Yamamoto is going to be second in scoring round 1 of the playoffs. Do you take it or leave it?
How snake bitten is that guy?
Yeah, it sucks.
How snake bitten?
So many opportunities.
So many good opportunities. He's so close. Like, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
But for a guy that's snake bitten like that, you like see him getting the opportunities. You'd rather him have the looks and miss than have nothing at all.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I mean?
Like, he's noticeable every night.
Yes.
So that's good. So it's just a matter of time. Okay.
Yamo second in scoring. Take it or leave it.
Yamo has the heart of a lion.
Yes. The honey badger.
The honey badger. It's tough because, like, especially like, say we play Montreal in the first round or something, like, those defensemen are just ginormous, and it's tough to get your way with them. I'll have to leave it, but I leave it with love.
Okay.
I leave it with love.
Okay.
It'll be effective.
We'll make this another one. Take it or leave it, Jay. Robert says, I want Kulikov out of the lineup. Bouchard plays better. Take it or leave it.
Plays better defensively?
Just in general. Kulikov.
But I'm asking, plays better defensively?
Oh, sorry. Yes. No.
Yeah, so then I think we want Kulikov.
Okay. Take it or leave it. Robert says, Cassian is a pylon. I love him, but he's just not producing this year. Tough because he's not playing right now, but...
I hope you're wrong, but this season has not been good for him.
No, been a tough year.
I hope for some reason he can activate. He's shown like 2 games of brilliance. Like, hopefully we can get some of that.
Yep.
And do we have an update on that guy?
No update. John Lapine says, Winnipeg's scoring center depth is pretty deep.
Deep.
And then he says, think you would have to split up 97 and 29 against them. Yeah, potentially.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, take it or leave it. Kyle Ritchie says, Oilers fans don't realize how lucky we are to see Connor do this on a nightly basis.
Oh man, we've said it a few times. Like, you cannot take this for granted. It's pretty special what we're seeing, because like this is supernatural. Like, this is insane.
Yes. Okay, we had 2 of the exact same questions come in. This is a good question, Jay. Coming in from Steve and Chris. Who is Fernando Pisani 2021?
That's a great question. That is a great question. Who is our Fernando Pisani? So I look at the roster. So it can't be like your McDavid. It can't be Puljujärvi. It can't be Dreisaitl. Well, it could be Puljujärvi, actually.
So it's got to be someone low-key.
But low-key.
Do you almost want to say Ryan McLeod?
I'm staring at Ryan McLeod. He's got potential, for sure.
Yeah.
I love myself some Archibald.
I thought you might go that way.
But I also wouldn't rule out James Neal. To score like it's maybe not Pisani. Like, Pisani scored like 14 goals or something like that.
He was
some crazy sum of goals. Like, but to be a version of that, I don't think, like, to be what Fernando Pisani was. Wow, like, that'll be tough to duplicate. But I think to be a version of that, I think McLeod. But I bet you, like, if James Neal scored 6 goals in our playoff run, I think we would all be ecstatic about that.
Oh,
ecstatic.
Yes.
That's like a Pisani-esque performance.
I think that if any of your bottom 6 forwards are putting up 5 goals or more in the playoffs, that's a win.
But that's what you need.
That's how you win.
In the playoffs, that's what you saw. I'm looking at the bottom 6 exclusively. Jujar?
I don't think he has the hands for it. Like, just pure skill.
But it's hands, but it's also about, like,
being in the right place.
The muscle too. And
like, true.
The force of scoring a goal. So
let's see what some people say here. Brad says Archibald. Gary Blaney says P. Russ. Could you imagine Patrick Russell all of a sudden playing every night? Puts up like 5 goals in the playoffs. Kyle says Archie. Tyler Cohen says Archie. Timothy says Archie. Gary says Archie. Robert says Yamamoto. Leon says McLeod getting a goal and an assist tonight. Bank on it. Then Brad says Neal will be Pekka. Michael Pekka.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't mind that.
And
they look the same.
And then Gary says again, part of me wishes that P. Russ could be a Pisani.
Well, of course.
Yeah, you hope, you wish you could.
Like, yes, of course.
Yeah. Okay, one more question here, and then we'll get into some betting talk, Jay. Sean says, who is your best third line in the playoffs?
For the Oilers?
Yeah. Construct your third line right now.
Oh, shit. I pushed the wrong button here. Oh, boy. freaking out. Our best third line is. I think you got a McLeod at center.
Okay.
Archibald.
Okay.
Ooh, Archibald over Neil. And then who's his right wing?
Tyler Ennis, maybe?
But Ennis is not a third liner, and if you play third line, you got to be able to kill PK. Like Ennis and Cahoon to me are replaceable. Like those are the rotating in the top six, is those two. Okay, this is bold.
Okay. A bold third
Archibald,
line.
McLeod, Cassian.
Oh, okay. Archibald on the left, McLeod up the middle, Cassian on the right.
So we got a lot of meat.
And a lot of speed.
A lot of speed and some physicality.
You're maybe lacking a little bit of skill on either side, but you'll make up for it with the speed and just like the tenacity. Just the size and the girth.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. I would also go McLeod up the middle. It's tough for me. It's tough because you want to have Tyler Ennis in the lineup.
Can Neil play the right side? We want Neil being fourth line, I think. I think you want Neil. You want Neil and Kara together.
I don't know if I want Neil in the lineup, man.
You do in the playoffs. You do.
I know you do in the playoffs. It's tough, but like I also want to get. What about Gaetan Haas? What about Devin Shore?
So here's the other thing: is maybe you elevate Kara to the third line, but as a winger.
Yeah, I wouldn't want him driving the third line.
Well, that's the other thing. A good third line was, what was it? Archibald, Kara, and Cassian. Was that? They had a. Did they have? No, sorry. Archibald, Kara, and Shore. Weren't they a good line?
Archibald, Kara, and.
Weren't they a buzzing third line?
Was it? Yes, it was Archibald, Kara, and Shore.
Yeah, they were buzzing.
I don't know if.
That's a good question.
Kara scares me, man.
I feel okay. So I'm wishful thinking. So assuming we get some version of like good playoff Cassian, we need it regardless.
Yep.
He would be awesome on the third line.
That's exactly what everyone's saying.
If that's the situation.
Yep. Kyle says Chase On's low-key been buzzing. Kyler says, I like it as long as Cassian's throwing the body. Yeah. Kyle says, praying to see playoff Cass. Brad says, can Cassian go Torres in the playoffs this year? Yeah, people just want to see playoffs at Cassian, which is what you need.
San Jose Shark, Zach Cassian.
Okay, let's see if you'll get this joke. Ready? Steve Simon says, Cassian and Haas went to the gulag, no? Do you know what that means? The gulag?
Yeah, I know what the gulag is.
Do you actually get the joke though?
I'm trying to think of why. What are they in trouble for?
It's like Call of Duty. It's like when you play Warzone.
Yeah.
And then do you play Call of Duty?
No, but the gulag's prison.
Yes, but it's like in Call of Duty when you're playing Warzone. When you die, you go to the gulag, and if you win your fight in the gulag, then you get dropped back into Warzone. It's like Fortnite, except when you die, you go to the gulag. So he's saying that Cassian and Haas went to the gulag, and we need them to win their fights and come back buzzing. So.
Sorry, people. I just really dated myself there, didn't I?
That's all good.
I went all World War II term.
It's prison, isn't it? I guess it is prison, but yeah. Call of Duty's OP.
What was OP stand for again?
Overpowered. Playoff Cassian, OP.
Yes, he is OP.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about betting, Jay, and then we'll wrap up this afternoon's show and let everyone enjoy the beautiful weather that is Vegas today.
Oh, it's so beautiful. Well, let's be honest. The odds suck.
Oilers are underdogs. Just kidding.
It's like, so last game, bet on the Canucks to win the first period, that paid out, and then live bet the Oilers to win, got them at plus 105. So like, that was good. So then I was able to wait and be patient. So like, that's the only way I'm betting on this game. Because like, the Oilers in the money line is minus odds, minus 105 for them to win by 2. Like, that's crazy talk.
The odds are so bad.
So this is a prop night until the live betting suggests otherwise.
Is this the heaviest?
Who's the goalie? Is it Kostin today?
Smith. Is this the most favored the Oilers have ever been on the money line this season? Minus 263.
Without 100%.
Even better than like when they were against the Sens. Sens are buzzing, by the way. Sens against teams.
They're like the hottest team, the second hottest team.
Sens against teams not named the Edmonton Oilers this year are like 22-18.
So starting the season, I just had a feeling about the Sens, so I bet on them to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
And if they just didn't have like the first 7 weeks of the season, they would have done it.
Yeah.
So I was kind of right. I kind of felt the momentum, but they're going to be good here soon. Anyways, but they're not. Let's talk about one thing.
Okay, go ahead, and then I got a question for you.
Connor McDavid.
Yeah.
Over 1.5 points is minus 143. Wow.
That's insane.
So I'll not be touching that.
McDavid's OP.
That's crazy. I'm expecting McDavid, like, we need him to get over 2.5, and that still only pays plus 270. So anyways, I'm having fun. Tonight's a props night unless live betting allows me to get some juice on the outcome or money line of the game.
I told you Draisaitl over 2.5 shots could be a play tonight.
Yeah, but that doesn't pay much.
It's terrible odds. See, this is what makes me mad. Like, bump it up to 3.5 then, and then lower the odds.
Yeah, it's so
dumb.
silly. I don't get it, so that's why I don't play it.
Okay, I got a question for you. Okay, finish your betting, and then I got a fun question.
Okay, here's my
fun hypothetical.
Here's what I'm betting. Puljujärvi is on the top line. It is plus 100. So you know McDavid's probably going to set him up, or Dry's going to set him up, but McDavid's going to be on that setup. Plus 100. That's good odds. I'm going to
point or goal?
Point. Just a point. So I'm going to be touching that. And then also, you know what? The kid is buzzing, and he's going to hit the score sheet here. Not like he hasn't been, but just he's been playing better than what his point totals have been in the last like 6-7 games, and that's Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. So
the life of a two-way forward.
I am going Nuge over 1.5 points at plus 280.
Sean says, give me McDavid over 6.5 points. Hypothetical, Jay. If you were to bet McDavid over 6.5 points tonight, what do you think they would set the odds at? I want you to be my Las Vegas bookie. McDavid over, let's say, okay,
he's never had a 7-point.
Okay, let's bump it down. Over 5.5. Over 5.5 points, what do you think you would set it at?
Probably plus 2,000.
That's pretty low.
Plus 2,500.
I think it would be higher. I think it would be higher because like isn't a hat trick like 2,400 or something? What's
McDavid hat trick. I gotta check the other book too.
Oh, it's plus 1,900.
Plus 1,900.
So 5.5 points. I think
maybe plus 3,000.
I think it would be like plus 3,000.
I would bet it. If it was there, I would bet it. Best believe.
Yeah. That would be nasty. What would you bet it at? Let us know. What would it take for you to bet over 5.5 for McDavid? I think I would do it at 3,500. A small shekel at 3,500. Has he never had a 6-point game?
I think he's had 6 points.
Draisaitl's had 7.
Yeah,
Draisaitl's had 7. Actually, McDavid has 0. When I was doing all my stats today, only Mika Zibanejad that has a 6-point game this year, and he has 2.
No, he's
Isn't
crazy.
that wild?
Eh? He's crazy.
He's so streaky.
He is so streaky.
Okay, Jay, final thoughts on tonight's matchup, home ice. Actually, okay, one other thing. I think I saw something today on Twitter that said via Tom Gazzola, I'm pretty sure the Oilers are wearing their alternates all of playoffs. Like their navy blue.
I saw someone, please tell me they're not wearing them.
No, I'm pretty sure that, okay, I'm going to
No. Someone said, please tell me they're not wearing them. And then he replied with,
I think
they will be wearing them, but I don't know if they're going to be wearing them exclusively.
What do you think? What jerseys would you want to see them wear? Do you like those? Do you like navy blues?
I like them on the street, but they don't translate well on TV.
Yes.
Like they're a sharp jersey in person.
Yeah, someone said, tell me they won't be wearing these awful dark blue jerseys in the playoffs. And then Tommy retweeted it and said they will indeed be wearing the alternates for playoffs. So we don't know if that means like every game or how much.
I like the orange. Like that's like
I like the orange too.
I like the orange, you know?
These are nice, hey? What if they did that? Those are nice. Those are like the Baco. I wish I could show you, but they're like the Baco colors.
Well, but that is the actual Oilers jersey, like the blue.
Yeah.
Like the old, like the royal blue and orange.
I wonder what their record is this year in them. Don says they win lots wearing them.
They do win lots wearing them, and that's the other thing, right? Yeah. So like talking about like superstitions, like if it's working, they best not be changing.
But like when they had, you remember in 2017 when they had those
reverse retros on the road,
those super nice. When I did my Oilers jersey rankings, I ranked these as my favorite Oilers jerseys of all time. Those 2017 playoff jerseys that they wore, which were also their home jerseys all season. But then they had the whole Orange Crush thing. Dude, those oranges were so good. I have such nostalgia attached to that jersey just because of 2017. Like, you probably can relate and say the same about the jerseys they wore in 06. I was too young at the time.
Yeah.
But just like those Orange Crush 2017 jerseys, man, I wish they could bring those back.
Yeah.
I just like the way they look.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's wrap it up.
Clinch home ice.
Clinch home ice.
That's all I got to say.
Tonight,
just go and do it. Connor, what does he need? 7 points in 5 games. So let's get 3 tonight and just really make it easy.
Yep. That's it. Another episode of the Deuce Vodka pregame show. Pick up your Deuce Vodka. Pick up your Nation beer. Pick up your Nation gear. I got mine on. Jay's got his on. Dynamic Duo tee. And we will see you
Saturday.
Hey, and stay tuned as well. Another edition of the Oily Boys Intermission Extravaganza coming to you Saturday night. So stay tuned. We're giving away some Nation Gear gift cards as well as some Oodle Noodle free boxes. So come hang out Saturday night, and we will see you for the pregame show on